Is the leader in production of the world's pistachios, and Kern County is a huge part of that success. But the drought could be dragging us down to number 2. 23 ABC's Cassie Carlisle took an in-depth look at what farmers are calling a crop failure.
They're wonderful. I'm wonderful. They'll sell themselves.
But the little brown nut with its signature shell is causing farmers concern.
All of them are blank. If there's nothing inside, of course, there's nothing to sell.
Now growers are bracing for the cost.
It's turned out to be dramatically worse than we've ever experienced.
Rod Stiefvater has been a pistachio farmer for 3 decades.
Can you pick a whole cluster?
This year's crop now has him worried about how he'll pay for next year.
Makes it more difficult to have to borrow some more money from the bank or rely on some other crops for the revenue.
This is what farmers are facing across the valley, saying it's because we didn't have a cold enough winter for the trees to produce a good bloom.
We suspect this lack of chill is related to the drought in some ways. We've kind of lost our protective fog.
Farm advisors say that the fog kept the area cool enough to create a bloom that produced pistachios, but now the fog's gone and so are the pistachios.
Which means countries may be looking elsewhere for their pistachios.
Some of these new treaties with Iran, it may open up the world markets more to Iranian pistachios.
Assemblywoman Shannon Grove of Bakersfield says if this continues, we could have trouble in the U.S.
As long as we can feed and fuel ourselves, then we're better off and more prosperous, and we don't have to rely on foreign nations.
While we're not producing as many pistachios per acre, we have more acreage than previous years as more farmers switch to pistachios, saying they're more profitable than crops like alfalfa and vegetables.
You know, you look at the acres from 2013 to 2014, and we increased somewhere in the range of about 30,000 acres.
While farmers and companies are hurting to fulfill their contract, some think will rebound soon.
This is probably more of just a blip in the ongoing history of the pistachio industry.
Though others fear the drought will continue, drying up the water supply and keeping farmers from producing.
I think it's extremely important to keep the water here for ag. You look at over 700,000 acre feet of farmland that's been fallowed. You look at jobs that are leaving the county.
They're watering plants or trees just to keep them alive, not to get a crop off of them. You know, that's the next step, you know, as far as dealing with the drought.
Which has Republicans calling for action.
We have requested a special session on water because we were dismissed from the legislative session without even addressing the water issue.
And in the meantime, everyone is hoping for rain. Cassie Carlisle, 23 ABC News.
And in Kern County alone, pistachios are a $400 million business, and despite the drought conditions, the acreage dedicated to them continues to grow every year.